The key to 2025 has arrived at spring training for the Orioles, and it is this man. I'm going to tell you why. Sugano is the key to the Orioles' success in 2025. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to tell you why Sugano is the key to the Orioles' season this year in just a moment. Plus, we'll break down how I see the starting rotation shaking out and why each piece is a piece to the puzzle. But I want to start with this. I show you this sometimes. This is the 1983 World Championship Orioles. Now, you may or may not remember that Jim Palmer, the legend, his final major league victory was noteworthy. He was pitching in relief of Mike Flanagan in the third game of the 83 series. He faced the Phillies' amazing lineup. He gave up no runs. He got the win. How old was Jim Palmer at that time? 38 years old. Why do I bring that up? Well, I bring that up because of two reasons. One, obviously Charlie Morton is now on our staff. 41 years old. Many people are saying, he's washed up. He can't give innings, etc., etc. I'm going to argue, yes, he can. But more importantly, what I want to talk about today is this man, Tomoyuki Sugano, 35 years old, and a huge question mark. But I submit to you today, and tell me if you agree in the comments, this man is the key to the success of the Orioles rotation as a whole this year. And this man holds the key to how far the Orioles go into the postseason in 2025. Let me explain. First of all, let me show you a great image from spring training. We'll get to Grayson in a moment. But let me show you this great image. This is the gaggle around Tomoyuki Sugano as he arrived in camp. And I think what was most telling about his initial introduction to the Orioles media, the national media, and of course the overseas media was he was completely unfazed. Completely unfazed. I want to go to one of his quotes right now, which I think is emblematic of how he thinks. He said, "When I first met with the Baltimore Orioles before I signed, they had strongly expressed their desire to win the World Championship. So that has been my goal throughout." This guy has a mindset that he wants to win the World Championship. That's how he is coming in. That's where his focus is. And with his one-year deal, he has 1 year to help the Orioles get to that promised land. Here's why I believe this guy won't be unfazed. Number one, when he was with the Yomiuri Giants overseas, they were basically like the Yankees. I mean, they're one of the top teams, legendary teams. That franchise, I believe, won 22 Japan series, 39 pennants, I mean, they are iconic there. The oldest professional sports franchise in Tokyo. So they were iconic. So we know Sugano is going to be able to handle the pressure. Let me get to now why I believe he's the key to the success of the Orioles rotation and also then how far we go into the postseason. Here's why. Because the pieces we have at the top, we pretty much know what to expect. We hope for the upside, but we also know generally what to expect. We expect that Grayson is a top-line starter, a 1 or a 2 type guy. We expect that. We expect consistency. We expect a sub-4 ERA, hopefully even better, okay? Then you look at Zach Eflin, same thing, arguably our best pitcher down the stretch. Last year, he's going to be consistent. He's going to give you innings. Here's where Sugano fits in, because I slate Sugano in the middle of the rotation with the opportunity, once proving himself, to move up. But I slate him 3 or 4, he and Charlie Morton. I'd like to see Sugano at 3, I believe, depending on how he looks in spring training. But he is the key because we know his past. If his past is indicative of his future, he will be a superstar in the MLB, a superstar. And if you don't believe me, then look at the statistics right here of his stats over all his career in Japan. 136 and 74, a 2.43 ERA, almost 1,600 strikeouts. And that's not all. He was the 3-time Central League MVP, including last year. He won the Japanese pitching triple crown in 2018. He was a 2-time recipient of what equates to the Japanese version of the Cy Young, and he won the Gold Glove at his position 3 times. So, if he can even come close to those numbers in the majors, and I will tell you today, you can bookmark this, I think he does. I think Sugano gives the Orioles anywhere from 12 to 16 wins this year. And think about that. If he can give 12 to 16 wins in the middle of this rotation to complement everybody else I just said, to complement Grayson, to complement Zach, to complement Charlie Morton, to complement who will most likely be the 5th starter, Dean Kramer. If Sugano can give you those sorts of numbers, this rotation becomes and has a different look. And look, I've argued, yes, guilty as charged. I've argued the Orioles should go after a top-line starter and give what it takes to get a top-line starter. We're now at the point where it's unlikely that the Orioles land anybody now before the All-Star break. But just think with me for a second. If Sugano performs the way that I am proposing to you he will, somewhere in that 12 to 16 win range, if he can do that, if Zach can be Zach, if Grayson can be Grayson, right? If Charlie Morton is a workhorse and gives you innings, and if Dean Kramer shows the flashes that he's shown, all of that, not even keeping into account that we may see somewhere around the All-Star break or right after Kyle Bradish come back, Tyler Wells come back. Now you're talking about a rotation that, while surprising probably to the rest of the league, could actually get you a world championship. Tell me what you think. The comments, like, subscribe. You're going to get the latest takes. You're not always going to agree with me. I'm not always going to agree with you. But Sugano has arrived in camp. It's exciting. Lots more coming up. We will have coverage every day. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Really appreciate you watching and weighing in. Whether you agree or not, let's keep the conversation going and go Birds.